All right, it's one of my favorites, especially during the summertime here, fruit bowl salsa, and it's just that simple. It's all of the fruit that you most likely have in your fruit bowl, and a couple of additions to it, and that's going to be the red pepper, give it a little bit of crunch and some savory, and we also like a little spice with our salsa, so we've got a fresh, diced, seeded jalapeno and some red onion, and the red onion not as bold as the yellow or the white onions, so it's a nice soft flavor, but it starts this easy. I had a mango, so I diced, chopped, and put in the mango, and also some citrus. I had a navel orange, so that goes in there. And I also had some stone fruit. This happens to be a nice ripe nectarine. Now we're going to add some of the crunch. Remember, salsa is a color by numbers, and it's your palate here that gets to work. So if you don't like onions, you don't have to add them. If you do like them, add more of them. But I'm gonna go with about a half of what I diced, and we can always add to it. It's tough to pick those things out. Now as far as the heat, I like the heat. So the jalapeno goes in, and that's also going to go great with the shrimp. And then again, more crunch. This is going to reinforce the sweet, and that is about a sliver of some diced, fresh red bell pepper. That looks good so far. You know what we need to add to it? Some pineapple. As always, we want to give ourselves a nice flat area to work with, so we're going to hack off part of the top, and we'll hack off part of the bottom, just about a ½ inch on each one. And now, we're going to work our way around, taking the blade, removing all of the green, the brown, and these little spiky things that stick off. So 1, 2, rotating it along the way. We don't have to do it all at one time, so we can take nice little strips, but we do want to make sure we get all the way through so we don't have any of those little brown bits like these here. You don't want them sticking inside because well, they're just not appetizing. Now the pineapple still has its core in the center, and that's not what you want. Now it's nice to eat it on its own, but you don't want that in the salsa. It's a little too fibrous and chewy. So I'm just going to take off some slices here, all the way to the core. Should be able to get about 3 or 4 at about a ¼ inch or so a piece. And then we're going to fine dice these and add them to the salsa. Give it a quick stir to blend in the pineapple with the rest of our fruit. And the cool part about this is it's kind of a, we'll call it a self-healing type of salsa. Normally some of those, like the stone fruit, the nectarine, and even the mango would start to tarnish, the color would turn. But the citrus, the navel orange that we added, just enough of that vitamin C to keep it from turning, kind of the way you would treat an apple to keep it from getting brown. So this gets better as it sits. Give it about an hour to rest, another stir, taste it, see if you have to season it. Sometimes a little bit more of the orange juice over top, and that's about it. That gives us plenty of time to turn our attention to the Calypso shrimp. Fresh Mayport shrimp, especially when they're on sale, it's the way to go. I've got a little bit of olive oil in my pan. I'm going to make sure it's nice and hot, and we're going to start with the shrimp first. Now remember, shrimp cooks crazy fast. We're going to add to that just a little bit of apricot. This is a sugar-free, no sweetener whatsoever apricot, and then we're going to hit it with the spice. The shrimp have been in about a minute or so. We're going to add the sweetness. That is going to be the unsweetened apricot, and start to stir that around. The apricot will actually melt and turn into a sticky shininess that's going to cling to the shrimp. And now, let's add the heat and continue to stir and or flip. Whether you crank this dish out on the stovetop and or a gas grill, you're gonna find, number 1, it cooks crazy fast. Number 2, make plenty of salsa. The stuff is so good and it goes with everything, you'll want more. Oh, and by the way, if you do put your Calypso shrimp right up next to your fruit bowl salsa, you too are going to be saying, there is none better.